Start with the name of Allah, who is the most merciful and grateful. Dear students of class first year, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome you all after summer vacations in class first year. And this is a virtual learning system of Pakistan International School Taif. And I'm your teacher, Sarfaz Nadeem. How are you, dear students? Hope you enjoyed very well your summer vacations, and congratulations, all of you, to successfully got you are promoted in class first year, and congratulations to all of you, and hope so you will do well in class first year as well. So dear students, and last lecture number 9, we discussed about the unit 2.1, and that was about, yes, unit 2.1, it's country for me. So now we have unit 2.2, our environment. This is English lecture number 10 for grade first year. And Sam, the book, we have the English textbook for first year. And today we will open our page number 54 and 59. So please open your books and come on page number 54. And we have lesson today, our environment. Yes, dear students, you can see here that we have lesson reading selection 2.2, and that is about our environment. Frank Skirp is the writer of the essay. So we are going to start the lesson, dear students. This lesson about the environment, you can know that about the topic. Topic is our environment. It means all about the environment and about the nature. So let's start to read this essay. The earth, water, and air, once taken for granted as a sort of scenic backdrop for the human drama, have all become areas of intense discussion and worry. In the 1950s, only a few alert scientists were predicting our present despair over what mankind is doing to the earth. Resources seemed unlimited, the air was fresh and clean, and rivers and oceans were seen as elements to be harnessed for power and used to dispose of waste. But in a relatively short time, we have seen the threat of shift in the balance of nature away from its cycle of use and renewal to one of abuse, decay, and if we are not careful, gradual collapse. Now, dear students, in first paragraph, in this essay, in first paragraph, Frank or Skirpti describes serious threats to environment caused by pollution. He says that in the past, our resources were unlimited. The air was fresh and the water was clean, but in a very short time, we disturbed the balance of nature. If we are not careful, our environment will collapse, means will destroy. Our environment is now a social problem, not just a problem for the sciences. With huge increases in air, water, and land pollution in the past quarter century, the world we now live in poses problems of health and welfare for a large portion of the population. A dirty lake or river not only affects those who live near it, but it also affects the entire ecosphere, nature's rhythms and cycles, and the future functioning of man. A threatened environment like a weak house close to crumbling puts man in a precarious position. The more that produces goods that do not fit into nature's cycle, the more the pollutes and thus undermines his own health and well-being. Dear students, in this paragraph is talking about that in 1950s only some science could see the impact of environmental pollution. It is no longer a problem only for scientists. It's now a social problem. Air, water, and land pollution are the main causes of bad environment. A dirty lake or river not only affects those who live near it, it affects the whole ecosphere. Biologists refer to the intricate web of relationships between all living things and the physical environment they share is the ecosystem. It has been shown that each living thing plays a part in this ecosystem. There is a food chain in which organisms that produce their own food using the sun's energy, green plants, are eaten by small animals, which in turn are eaten by larger animals. The food technology chain is closed by bacteria and fungi, which decompose the waste and eventually the dead bodies of all living things, turning useful nutrients for the use of the original producers or plants. Each element necessary for life, such as carbon, nitrogen, and phosphorus, goes through cycles of use and reuse. Although at certain periods in the cycle, if the element is not available for use, it eventually re-enters the cycle. Populations of all animals in the ecosystem are adjusted through natural forces such as disease and predation, a size in keeping with the food supplies the environment can provide. Now, dear students, in this paragraph, this is a complex relationship between living things and their environment. Every living thing plays a part in the ecosystem. There is a food chain in which green plants are eaten by small plant animals. Small animals are eaten by larger animals. The closing point of food chain comes when bacteria and fungi decompose all dead bodies. This process releases nutrients that are used by green plants. Now here, dear students, after this paragraph, we have paragraph number 4. A change in any part of the delicately functioning ecosystem carries widespread and often unexpected repercussions. Widespread and often unexpected repercussions. An illustration can be seen in the outcome of the campaign waged in South Africa against the hippopotami that used to graze on agricultural land along the river banks. The population was successfully reduced, but new problems set in. It turned out that the movement of the hippos through the rivers kept the channels open. Without them, the rivers silted up and then overflowed their banks. The floods damaged crops and homes. Moreover, the resulting stagnant pools permitted a huge increase in the population of water snails, which served as host for one stage of the life cycle of a parasite that causes the sometimes foot disease. Schistomasis. So the net result of the attempt to stop the hippos grazing was a shortage of food and disease epidemic. Dear students, here in this paragraph, discussing about kind of diseases like schistomasis, uh, others as well, like shortage of food and a disease epidemic. So here they're saying that the population of all animals in our environment is controlled by natural forces like diseases and predation. Any change in a food chain or in population of animals disrupts the balance of nature. For example, the campaign waged in South Africa against hippopotami disturbed the balance of environment. It resulted in floods which damaged homes and crops. So, dear students, here we have few different words, and the meaning of these words are available on page number 56 and 54. You can see over there, but you are well aware if the students of the biology, they are well aware, and the engineering students might they have kind of few words difficult like we have epidemic means a widespread occurrence of a disease, a rapid development or spread of something unpleasant over here, as you can see. So like this, we have the few, and hippopotamus means a very large gregarious mammal with short legs and a thick skin. You are well aware about it. So now we will move to paragraph number 5. The damage to our environment and the harm it can bring to human and animal life from injudicious alteration of the ecosystem are obvious. An ecosystem that took billions of years of evolution to establish, areas devastated by one or more problems, Los Angeles with its smoke, West Virginia with its strip mining, are trying to correct the problem. Other areas not yet polluted are taking measures to ensure that the quality of their water, air, and land is not degraded. Yet often it has taken either government or private spokesmen to point out the dangers. Many communities were unaware of the threat until the late 1960s, when in many cases the problem had reached an almost irreversible point. The writer says that pure, dear students, pure and clean environment is the need of the day. It is essential for animals, human beings, and plant life. The question before our society, based on our new and growing perception of the effects of human pollution of the environment, is both elementary and monumental. Will we pay for the cleanup of rivers, oceans, the landscapes, and yes, landscapes and the air? How will we pay? Can we simply pay cash, or must we give up some of our now taken for granted machines and luxuries? The scope of the environmental problems has been well established. The question is, what can the citizens do about helping to ease the burden? Action groups should be formed to ensure passage of environmental legislation. Ecology courses should be given at many levels of the education system. And just plan watching for one's own garbage and littering is a beginning. But all of these and other measures assume a knowledge that the ecosystem is in danger. Certainly, not everyone knows it or agrees to the extent that Earth is scared or the air polluted. Common public acceptance of the problem combined with the real concern is the only way the society as a whole can deal with the cost and efforts of the cleanup ahead, just as the ecosystem is made up of thousands of functions, all dependent in some way on each other. Society too has to depend on all its members to treat the problem with seriousness. The minority cannot achieve a clean, healthy world. It will take a vast majority of the population to make that world a reality. So, dear students, Sam, and the writer says that the pure, clean environment is the need of the day. It is essential for animals, human beings, and plant life. It is also a fact that the ecosystem is in danger. Pollution is on the rise, so the government should take this problem seriously. The public should also play their due role in keeping the environment clean. Action groups should be formed to ensure passage of environmental legislation. Each part of the ecosystem is dependent on its other parts. In the same way, society also depends on all its members. Therefore, all sections of the society must take this problem seriously. They should work together to reduce pollution, otherwise, survival on the earth will become impossible. So, dear students, this is all about the lesson today, and the author is Franco Skipti, is Professor Emeritus in the Department of Sociology and Criminal Justice at the University of Delaware, USA. So this is about the author there, and now we have new vocabulary. We have many words on page number 56 and 57, like alert, attentive, alteration, and adjustment, backdrop, the background, collapse means the fail completely, crumbling means in the process of breaking down into crumbs, and ecology, the study of the relationship between living organisms and their environment. Ecosphere, the parts of the universe, ecosystem, a system involving the interaction between a community and its environment. So let's move to another page, and this is page number 57. Yes, and it's all about the word meaning epidemic, a widespread occurrence of a disease, and then we have many injurious and intricate and irreversible legislation, littering, monumental. The words are present, dear students, on your page number 57. After the page number 57, dear students, we will move to page number 58. Yes. So here we are on page number 58, and you can see over here starting few words, and then we have study questions. So if we are talking about the study questions, dear students, you will be able to write your answers by yourself after the reading of the lesson completely. The first question we have: why did men start corrupting the environment? What were the reasons? Actually, two questions are here, and you have to write answer in exam like one. And what will be the answer? Let's see. In the past, air was fresh and clean. Rivers and oceans were also clean. Air, rivers, oceans, and land were seen as resources. These were considered unlimited. These were seen as elements to be harnessed for power. Factories started throwing their waste into streams, thus making the water impure and contaminated. Smoke from these factories started polluting air in a short period of time. Air, water became polluted. Thus, man started corrupting the environment because he thought that the resources were unlimited. So this is the answer. And same we have more like why does the author say that environment is now a social problem? Very easy. The author says that environmental pollution is a social problem because it affects the whole society polluted air and water affect not only those who live near it, but they also affect the whole ecosphere. It also affects the future of man. There is a close relationship between the physical environment and all the living beings. So here, this is question number three. What is an ecosystem? How does nature keep the ecosystem balanced? And now it's easy. I think, what is an ecosystem? The relationship between living things and their physical environment is called ecosystem. Very easy. And how does nature keep the ecosystem balanced? Each living thing plays a part in the system. There is a food chain. Organisms that produce their own food using sun's energy are eaten by small animals. The small animals are eaten by large animals. The food chain is closed by bacteria and fungi. Each element necessary for life, such as carbon, nitrogen, and phosphorus, goes through this cycle of use and reuse. Nature keeps the ecosystem in balance through disease and predation. So, dear students, we have more answers in interpreting and then extending as well. And you can write answers, and inshallah, within the time, notes will be available for you for class first year English. This is page number 58, dear students, and hope so you are easy for you. And we have extending few questions like as boy can do best himself. Uh, and so, dear students, we have here language study on page number 59, and this is about something about the grammar, like verbs as well. You must have read the verbs or action words are doing words, but they are verbs that don't perform any action. For example, the verb seems in the sentence, Jamil seems unhappy, is not performing any action. Now, identify only the action verbs in the following extract. So, dear students, this is all about lecture. These are the verbs. Definitely, we will learn more in our grammar section. And after this, dear students, and this is all about today's lecture. And hope so you understood. If you have any question, any query, dear students, I'm available on Zoom. You can ask me. And this is all about today's lecture. See you, inshallah. Till that, Allah Hafiz and goodbye.